Hello, welcome to another case study that we have with Becoming Light. And I am so delighted to introduce Rebecca to you guys. I had such an amazing discovery call with you like many months ago. It feels like it was a year ago, to be honest with you, because you've changed so much. So, with that amazing introduction, without further ado, can you tell us like what's your name and where are you located and what does your business look like?
My name is Rebecca. I am located in Daphne, Alabama. My business is I do hair, nails, makeup, and skincare. I have like what I call a sweet little suite of a tiny spa. Um, I wanted to introduce healing into that business, but didn't know how. So that's where I found you.
I was curious, how did you come across Becoming Light and like why Becoming Light of all people?
I actually ran across you like on Instagram, and it was funny because I had a birth chart reading done like years ago, and my lady told me that I needed to introduce like Reiki or some kind of like energy work into my business, and I really didn't know how to do it and in like a cohesive manner because I already do like so many things. And then I don't know. I mean, I guess, like I'm like a big believer in the universe, just like popping things into my life. So I ran across you and I kind of stalked you for a while, I'm not gonna lie, and watched
Good.
your videos and and then reached out when I felt like it was time. So yeah, that's how I found you. And then we chatted, you
How did
know.
you know that it was time?
Um, I just I don't know. I just felt like I was getting, I hate to say bored, but I was
Honest.
getting, yeah, I was getting where I was feeling stagnant maybe in my business. I
Mhm.
wasn't like 100% um loving. I mean, I love what I do, but I was like going through the motions. I had gone through some personal stuff and I was just like with life and just needed some I felt like I needed something. I needed a change or I needed something to love it again. Maybe. Is that
Mhm.
right? Probably.
A plus.
Yay. But yeah, I needed some like I felt like it needed a revamping. I needed a revamping.
Mhm.
So it was time.
Because
Yeah.
so would it be safe to say that like you knew that you wouldn't want to look at your business in 2024 and like nothing had changed? Like you weren't
Right.
even sure if you were really going to even love it anymore.
Right. Correct. Correct. Yeah.
And I remembered when I talked to you, you had a lot of things going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Still do, but yeah. Yeah. There's
And
so
it
much.
and it sounded like you really needed to learn how to have some space so that you could devote energy to those other aspects of your life, right?
Correct. Correct. I'm like a single mom of a special needs little boy, and I have I have to do a lot with him. So I have very limited salon time. So I have to
Mhm.
cram like a full-time work week into like maybe 2 days, 3 days, 2.5 days. Um, and then yeah, I have that. And then like I've got my mom's got like a lot of health stuff going on right now. And then I've got, all kinds of personal craziness going on.
Mhm.
So it was like a shit show in my life. And it
Mhm.
was like I needed to find I needed to find some balance and I needed to find some something,
Yeah,
something,
something. Yeah.
something.
Yeah, for balance. So what was the process of going into Becoming Light for you? Like how did that help you with all of this?
You know what? It was crazy because one, I just knew I had to do it. I had to be there. And like literally, like I had gone through this like really weird thing with some like dating crazy, and then I was like, fuck it, I need to just throw myself into my business right now anyway. And the money just happened when I needed it to. And then it really just, not only did I like figure out like boundaries not only for my business, but I'm like figuring out boundaries like personally right now too, which has been like freaking phenomenal.
Hmm.
So like it was overwhelming at first because it's like a lot, like like it's just like a lot. But then as you start like going through the modules and like doing all the things, it's
Hmm.
like everything starts clicking. And it's like a magical moment, really. So it's like everything is now like falling into place. And I feel like I've um definitely like evolved into, I'm finding that purpose in that place that I knew I had, but was like lost for a minute, like it just, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. She was missing for a minute, but she's back. So you
That's
know what
amazing.
I'm saying,
That's amazing. But we love specificity. So let's also get
Yeah,
to the nitty gritty
go
about
ahead. Go ahead, girl.
how did it help you with your schedule? Like, can
Oh
you give
yeah.
us some specifics around that? And like you said, like the money came. So cool. Can you tell us a little
Yeah,
bit about that too?
absolutely. Okay, so schedule. Um, so like I said, I could only go to the salon probably like 2.5 days. So I'm also being that, okay, so with your modules, I have been able to give myself a raise, which has been delightful. I know, which is amazing, by the way. And I've been wanting to do it, but we all kind of have problems with our self-worth sometimes, and emotionally discount people, which I don't do anymore, which I freaking love. And so I gave myself a raise. I am not working until 10 o'clock at night anymore, even with my 2.5 days of work, which is phenomenal. And so yeah, so money wise, yeah, on 2.5 days, basically, before, I think I was making probably about 75, or about 75 an hour, and now we're at like 125 an hour. And my people are still tipping me. So which is, I'm like, oh, you don't have to, but they still do. So I guess that's good. So but the other awesome thing is with the energy work, I am able to do remote stuff from home. So I'm able to add income from the house, which is amazing. I know, which I'm loving, because I do have a lot of friends and family that are not here locally that can't come see me at my studio, so I can do some work from home with my little energy business, which I love. So it's been amazing. So I can do that with my son at home, or stuff like that. So it's awesome. Yeah.
And there's so many great specifics about your story.
Yeah.
And I want to like touch upon a little bit of them. I really liked that you're from what I would call the Bible Belt.
Absolutely.
So please share with us like how the systems that we talk about in Becoming Light like helped you with that.
Yeah, I am from a very small town in Alabama. So yeah, it's been an interesting adventure because Yeah, it's very Christian, it's very Baptist, it's very yes. So I wasn't really sure how receptive people would be. But in the end, I don't think I've had anybody not be interested or dive in. So they've all been very excited about the changes. And with your and part of the reason why I was really drawn to like even your program,
Mhm.
um, I like that you offered different modalities
Mhm.
because well, I do have a little bit of a background in energy work, but you also you come at it too from not just like energy side, but it's like energy medicine, and you do have a you give a lot of like medical kind of ways to explain things, so it's not so woo woo.
Mhm.
So like my clients who are lawyers and doctors and people like that, they felt comfortable with how I would explain it to them. So it wasn't something like Rebecca's doing witchy woo woo stuff in her
Mhm.
salon, it's, oh, well, this can be really beneficial for my health and my wellness. Why wouldn't I do it? So
I like
yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
great.
So it's it can be something that even I have people interested in for children with autism, and then I have people who are interested in it just for an emotional side. So it's like I've got all aspects of people coming and interested. So it's been an interesting and amazing kind of addition to everything. So
That's fantastic. And you're already touching on the other thing I wanted to remember to talk about, which
yeah.
is your son.
Yeah.
And and
He
how this
loves it.
and how you had said that, since he was a baby, like you had been
Mhm.
learning healing work to
Yeah.
learn how to help him, like, spread his wings into his gifts and learn how to
Yeah.
be in this world. And I think that that's so incredible. I love hearing mothers use
Yeah.
this work with their children, and it's been so awesome to watch. So I'd love it if you would love to speak on, like, right, like how has this impacted the life as a whole? Because it's not just for your business.
Yeah. No, originally I went into my son got diagnosed with autism. I think he was about, well, they don't diagnose until they're like 2 years old, but we were on that journey probably by 16 months. I knew from birth that there was something.
Mhm.
There was, we couldn't, you can't go through all that until they're later, but he had such a drawing to music, sound, and textures and light and, the stuff like that. And we had uh I want to say it was a speech therapist that one of his first therapists had recommended like a qigong
Oh yeah.
massage. And
Mhm.
so I was like, oh well, let's look into that. Like I'm into this, and like right from the start, I'm like an essential oil like freak, so I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, like I'm into all this. So yeah, I'm like getting videos and we're like, doing all this thing. And I always tell him, I'm like, come on, buddy, like it's time for your massage, and he'll just lay
Mhm.
there. And so he has like seizures and he has like all this other stuff as well. But we started doing stuff like that for him for his like meltdowns, and because
Mhm.
he just couldn't,
Sure.
it was just so much.
Mhm.
And I would notice when he would go into those meltdowns, if we could get him in a place where we could give like a qigong, and then I went into reiki, and then there's been other things that we would go into. And he loves healing crystals, girl. Well, he picks them out now, and he gets it right on. But anyway, he'll his little massages, I'll call them his massages, and you can just see his body just give in and relax. And he'll just and then it would help him sleep. And because he wouldn't sleep, I think for the first 2 years of his life, I would get like a half hour sleep a night. Like it was like it doesn't shut off. And so now we do a lot of, just different things, but I take him to my studio and we do the tuning forks and
Mhm.
all of that kind of stuff, which he absolutely loves. He loves that vibration and the sound.
Mhm.
But it has helped with just keeping that calmness, and just, you can tell the difference when we miss a session and when we do it on a regular basis. Like it's a night and day. So, and I love that it's a natural side of things, because he does have to take medicine for a lot of things, but the least amount of medicine is where I want to stay,
Mhm.
So yeah, and he loves it, absolutely loves it. And I love that we started it a long time ago, because
Mhm.
now he's used to it,
That's
so
incredible. That's
yeah.
great. Yeah. So would you do Becoming Light again?
I mean, of course. Of
Great.
course I would. And I
Where
would
do you
recommend it.
where do you think that you'd be if you hadn't have gone through Becoming Light?
I mean, I think I would still be kind of floundering. I think I would be like, honestly, like emotionally discounting. I'd be wondering why I was like tired all the time. I would be wondering like where my money is. Because like you gave us systems on figuring out like how much are we charging? Where is our money? Like I'm I'm a Capricorn, so like I am very organized when it comes
Yes,
to
you are.
business.
Yes, you are.
But I'm
Good.
also like I need I I'm also a Gemini. There's a lot of Gemini in there. Meep, meep, meep. So I do get a little flighty. So I do like to have like a written system.
Mm.
So it does help me. But I do find your systems were real easy to follow. And it did keep everything kind of like very structured, very easy. Uh and then it was very cut and dry. Like it's very, and we could see where our money was going and where we needed to like reel some things in, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like you had every excuse in the book to not show up for this because of
Oh,
all the things that were happening, but you did.
yes. Girl, I mean, even your calls were on the days I was working.
But you
Shoot.
made time for it and you got the results. Um, and you also had every excuse in the book to not invest in this, right?
I did. I sure did.
Every excuse. I mean,
Sure
could have
did.
been like, I have, a crazy ex-husband, I have, my child, I need to give so much time and energy to my child, I have all these
Yeah.
clients, like,
Yeah.
everybody's pulling at me. Like, you had every reason to not invest and not make the time, either
I
money
did.
or time. um but you did.
There were moments I thought, what in the hell are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? But I really was like, I hate to say that, but I I fought with myself there for a little bit, like, oh my God, why are you doing this? You need to take a break. But you know what? At the end there, I was like, I'm really glad you didn't take a break, because I think I needed that little extra. Because I even said to my friend like the other night when I was out to dinner with her, I was like, I needed that in my life. And it wasn't just for business. Like it's been helpful in my personal life too, because I am such like I come to life with like such a unconditional love and a heart and
Yes, you
you
do.
know,
You're an
do
overgiver. You're an overgiver.
I really am, but I've had to learn boundaries. Like it
Mhm.
is like that is like I think that is like my biggest problem is I have to learn boundaries.
Mhm.
And I think like going through the motions and going through like a lot of like those meditations that we've done and on the group calls, and it has really helped me realize boundaries are healthy
Mhm.
and emotional boundaries are healthy. Like it has like really been like, okay, girl, like it's okay.
Mhm.
Like you can't just constantly just pour this out. Like it's okay.
So
And
then,
it's been healthy.
so I'm going to put you on the spot here, but like, what
Okay.
would you say is like the value for everything that you got? Like learning these boundaries, giving yourself a raise, being able to work from home, 2.5 days a week, not even having to be at the salon, connecting with your child even
Yeah.
more.
I know. I mean, it's like huge. It's been a magical experience. Like
So
I don't even
then,
know, like value wise, like it's been wild.
yeah. I mean,
It's been wild.
could you put a number on that, or is it just feel like it's priceless?
It's pretty priceless, to be honest.
So then was the investment like nothing?
Amazing.
It was like, yeah,
Yeah, I don't even think about it.
that's great. I think I like to pull this
Yeah.
full circle,
Full circle.
because I know that there are people out there who are either listening to this on a podcast or watching the video on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram. And I like for you now, having gone through the process, to come from like the wise perch, to give some advice to somebody who's watching it. So what would you say to somebody who's watching it and they're thinking about it, but they're like, I'm scared, but I'm thinking about it, but I'm scared.
I was also very hesitant
Mhm.
and scared because I have done a lot of coaching. I have been burned by a lot of coaching, and I was hesitant and skeptical, and
Yeah.
like, do I want to take that big investment? Do I want to make that big investment? I can, you know, it wasn't because for me, what I really wanted was more of like the energy work side.
Mhm.
I can get that wherever, you can do that wherever. But at the same time, I felt so drawn to it. There was a reason. And it took me a minute, it took me a minute to go ahead and say yes. I
Mhm.
really had to sit down and I meditated and I prayed and I, did all the things, girl, until the universe gave me the yes. And when it did, there were certain things I asked for, and when everything came back yes, I said, well, they gave me all the yeses, so I had to do it. Um, don't fight it. Like it was the best investment, and it wasn't just for my business, it was for personal stuff as well. Like it was magical and amazing. And I've also made like some amazing connections too, like
Mhm.
some really amazing connections. Like,
And the Becoming Light community. Yeah, that's great.
yeah,
I know.
so it was a life-changing experience, not just for business but personal as well. It was worth every penny. And yes, it's fucking scary as fuck because you're like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but you know what, if you're drawn to it, there's a reason. And I'm a firm believer in, as I asked the universe for specific things, and when everything came back and I was still like, I don't know, I was like, okay, girl, don't fuck around with the universe. Like it gave you everything you wanted, and you're like, oh, don't fuck with it. You're just gonna fucking go.
It's so great. It's so great. Um,
don't I mean, when you ask for it and they give it to you, you can't do
Fair,
that.
fair.
Yeah.
That's a good mic drop moment. Um,
Yeah.
I'm excited to keep watching you. I know it's only just the beginning of where you're going to go. I know that because of your own personal background, as well
Thank
as your
you.
technical and educational background, you're really going to take this um, deeper with the people that you work with. I
Yeah.
actually went through, because Becoming Light does have a certification process if you want to pursue it. And so I was actually looking at your paperwork that you submitted. Um, It's amazing. It's
It's a
amazing.
mess,
It's
but thank
it's
you.
amazing. We'll talk about it after the recording, but it's really good. And so I know that this is just the beginning of the work that you're going to do in the lives that you're going to impact, while also being able to have the time and freedom for your
Yeah.
family. For people who want to vibe with your Capricorn Gemini energy, where can they connect with you on a website or Instagram?
Right now I am under Rebecca Reed Beauty, but I will be transitioning to, I think it's a Glow, but Rebecca
Oh,
Reed Beauty right
okay.
now. And then we're working on another website and all of that.
I can't
So
wait.
yeah.
Thank you so much for this
You're
testimonial, Rebecca.
welcome.
Oh.
Thank you.